Come on in, I'll show you some things around the Coliseum. Coliseum's been here a long, long time. This was actually, before the Coliseum was here, there was a park here. It's called Monumental Park. And they had, funny thing that I read on this was actually a place they built a field here before, and I saw something in a newspaper clipping that said, please come out and join us for the new sport of softball. So they played a softball game here on the grounds of the Coliseum. Mike Adams, and you're here in my office here at the Florence Coliseum. A lot of memories in this place. I know I go back to the early 80s coming here, and probably even before that. But this is my office. At one time, this office area and an office beside it, and then on the other side of the hallway, those were actually used for bleacher seats. So I guess these would be the nosebleed seats for some of those concerts. I'd like to tell you about past concerts that's been here at the Coliseum. One of those being not a well-known musician that came into the Coliseum. He was actually from Alabama, and he was the opening act for a Southern band that played a song that should be the state song, I guess you'd say. Talking about the Skynyrd band, and they performed here at the Coliseum. And the opening act that night actually got booed off the stage. And this word came to me from a cousin of mine that was actually here at the Coliseum and had no idea who the guy was. He was singing the song Pencil Thin Mustache. And so the crowd booed him off the stage. And that guy was known as Jimmy Buffett. And little did he know then that he would be one of the top selling artists. And anytime you go to the beach, you got to listen to Jimmy Buffett. Next concert I want to tell you about here at the Coliseum was Joe Cocker, who performed at the Coliseum back in the 70s. He was starting to get well known and stopped in here at the Coliseum. A lot of times musicians would be recording at Fame Studios or one of the recording studios across the river, and they would come over to the Coliseum for what they call gas money. They'd come over and perform, for a little bit of money to where they'd have, extra spending money. But Joe Cocker performed for this certain night here at the Coliseum, and after he left, he was going to stay over one night, and he stayed at the Holiday Inn, which is now the Hampton Inn, and where Taco Bell is. And he stayed at the Holiday Inn, and I don't know which room, but he actually faced the road. His window where he was faced the road, and my grandmother actually worked in the restaurant there at the Holiday Inn, and she got a phone call that said there's a man looking out over the road from his window at the hotel, stark naked. And she didn't know who it was. She just called the police, and she said there's a man that's looking over and he's naked, so I think you probably need to come and find out. Well, little it was known, it was Joe Cocker. He was arrested. He was put in jail in Florence for, I guess, just a short period of time. But to stretch this out, long story short, later in life, right before Joe Cocker passed away, I called his agent. I didn't really realize that his agent was his wife. And I was asking just for a picture, a signed autograph to where we could put it inside the Coliseum. And I said, we looked and said that he performed at the Coliseum in the 70s. And she said, I'm not familiar with that. She said, but let me ask him. And I'm thinking she's going to call him or whatever. And she says, hey, Joe, do you remember performing at Florence, Alabama? And you could hear him in the background. He says, yeah. That was some of the best cornbread I ever had in their jail cell. And that was the story of Joe Cocker performing here at Florence Coliseum.